In this lesson, we'll get more familiar with adding pictures to our post using the media library. We've added some content to our post, and we've also divided it up into more digestible sections by adding our subheading. So let's continue to spice up our post by learning how to add images. So the first thing you want to do is you want to click inside of your post where you want your image to appear. So right under this first section here, I'm going to press enter after that last paragraph, and I'm going to add a picture related to the section. So to do that, I want to come up here to this first row of buttons, which is where we can add different kinds of media or content to our blog post besides just static text. So I want to come up here to this first option, add media, and it's going to open up our media library. We can see we have that custom header I've added, that custom background, and we want to switch from our media library tab since we don't have our images in here yet and come here to upload files. So right here, I'm going to come here to select files, and I have some images added in our project file. So if I go back here under referenced files, in this images folder, you'll have all of the images I used for this course. So the first one, Chapulines, is the one I want to add in this section for this post. So I'm going to open this, it's going to upload it, and once it does, we have some more options here on the right side. So I'm going to scroll up here. We have the details of our attachment, such as the file size, the image resolution, and I'm going to come down here to where we see our title. And the first option we have is to add a caption for our image. So it's going to appear right below there, which if you're using an image from somewhere else on the web where you need some kind of licensing information, it's a good idea to add that in the caption, which I've burned that directly into my image, so it's kind of redundant. But if you're using something from another location, then you need to add that attribution if you have permission for it, and you'll always want to make sure you have permission for the images you're using unless they're your own or they're public domain or something like that. So I've added that information in here, and I'm going to add a caption for my image. I'm going to call it Chapulines or roasted crickets for my caption here. And the next thing you want to do is add some alternative text, which this is great for accessibility. It'll give some alternate description of the image. So if someone's blind and they're not able to view your site, that's going to be read out to them if they're using a screen reader, or if your image isn't reading or loading for some reason, it's going to display as well. So I have to add that since I'm a web person, I can't get around that. So I'm going to add that alt text as well. So that's a good idea. It's always a good habit to get into, even if you aren't a web person. In fact, you should do it. So we're going to go ahead and get in that habit there. You can add a description, which is kind of redundant here. And if you scroll down, we have a couple different options for our attachment. We can change the alignment. We can choose to link it to something. So for now, if you click on it, it's going to link to a page with just the full-size image itself. You can link to an attachment, a custom URL, or link to nothing at all. So I'm going to leave it at the default. And the last thing I want to change here is the size. You can see it's showing at a medium size. And I want to change this to be a large size, so it'll be 676 pixels, and that's actually the full width of our post. So that's what I want it to be. I don't want it to be any bigger than that, or else it's going to resize it and it'll look funny. So I'm just going to choose this large size and insert that into our post. So now we have a preview, and under this section we can see our Cricut images, and we have our preview of our caption here as well. So under this next section, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. Under this iguana section, I'm going to add a picture of an iguana. So I'm going to come up here to add media, upload a file, and select it. So I want this green iguana profile picture. I'm going to open it, and after it uploads, I'm just going to give it that caption as well. So I'm going to say green iguana, or maybe I'll just say iguana, since green is kind of redundant, since you can see that. And then in the alt, I'll add the alternative text for accessibility, saying it's a green iguana. And I'm going to leave this at the default of medium so we can see why I changed it to that large. So I'm going to insert that into our post. We have our little iguana in there, and then I'm going to add our last image right below this tacos section. I'm going to add one more. And you can see as we're adding these, they're saving them in our media library. WordPress is saving these for us, which is awesome. So if we wanted to use this in multiple places, it's already here for us. We don't have to upload it multiple times. It'll be forever here for us to use until we permanently delete them, which is just really cool. So I'm going to come up here to upload files, and then I'm going to select this tacos picture right here. I'm going to upload it, add it. I'm going to say it's tacos de sesos, even though the picture technically isn't. I don't have one, so I'm kind of cheating there. And then alt text here, I'm going to add tacos de sesos as well. So if I can type. And at the bottom here, I'm going to change this back to, well, we have full size and thumbnail. Since it's exactly 676, I want to use the full size option this time. I'm going to insert it into the post. We can see our little caption there. And I'm going to click on this preview button so we can take a look at how our post is looking. So we have our little intro, our first section, our picture of our crickets with our caption displaying nicely, our iguana, and you can see he's pretty tiny. That's not a very compelling image to look at. It's okay, but it's almost like a thumbnail size, so I don't like that medium size, and that's why I changed it to be the large size or the full size if it's exactly 676 pixels like this one was. So that's just something to test in your layout and see what kind of image size you think looks best with your content. So I'm going to come over here to the other tab where we're still editing it, and I can click on this iguana picture, and you'll have two little icons appear. We can delete this to remove it from our post, or we can edit it. So in this edit screen, we can do things like change the caption, the alternative text, and I want to change the size back down to that large size, and then I'm going to update it, and now it's going to be full size in our post. So if I refresh this page, or excuse me, if I come here and re-preview it, then that iguana is going to be at that full size now. So you can see how easy it is to make changes if you make the wrong choice. It's just as simple as clicking on it and editing it in our post. You can see really how nice these images have spiced up our content. It's made it a lot more interesting to look at. So I'm going to come over here and save our draft for now. And in our next lesson, we're going to learn how to add tags and categories to our posts.